Alright peoples, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about car maintenance, and this vehicle is a 2013 Nissan Micra 1.2 litre 3-cylinder fuel injected engine. And today we're going to show you how to check the oil. Very simple, and something you should do maybe once a month, maybe before and after a long trip that you're going to do. And just keep an eye on it. If it's using more oil than you is usually the case, it may be worth doing it more often. That way you can identify if it's low on oil, or it's using oil, or it's otherwise leaking or something like that. Okay, very simple. Pop your bonnet up, and the good thing with the Nissan Micra is that it's yellow. The handle is yellow, so you can see here, this is your oil check. So I'm just going to grab it out, make sure you got a rag or something else so it doesn't drip everywhere. I always like to bring it away from the car, and we'll see if you can see it there. Okay, got two, I'll just wipe it so it's not dripping everywhere. You've got two holes on this dipstick, so you've got one at this end, you've got one at that end. One's the low, one's the high, and you want to make sure it's somewhere in there. You don't want it below this hole here because that means it's low. You don't want it above this hole here because that means it's overfilled. Could cause a number of issues. So I'm just going to check mine now. So clean it off, dipstick all the way back in so it gets a good read, and then same again, back out and just give it a check. Okay, you can see mine. It may not be that visible on the camera, but mine is full. No problems at all with that. Okay, if you find your oil is low, give your car a couple of minutes to cool down after you turn it off, and yeah, if you find it's low, could need a top up. Okay, I'll show you the oil that I use for my vehicle. Always check your manual to make sure you're using the right viscosity of oil with the right properties. And this is the oil that I use for my vehicle, which is the Penrite HPR5 5W40. Okay, if you're in Australia, you'll know this brand, and it actually doesn't matter which brand of oil you use, provided that it meets the requirements for your vehicle. So there'll be a few things that you need to look at with oil, and it can be complicated. Some cars have very specific oil requirements. So this vehicle, you can use a 530 or a 540, which means these numbers here. 5 is when it's cold, 40 is when it's hot, and it may give you a certain SAE code that it needs to meet, and in this case I think this one is SP. It's SAE, SAE is the viscosity 540, and the API rating, which I think is American Petroleum Institute. In this case you can see API, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that on the camera, but API SP, so that's each generation of oil gets a car engine oil anyway, starting with S. So the old ones are things like SJ and SG even, and then as the oil has developed, as it gets different qualities, it will meet a new standard, and that will be, there's been SG and S. I've seen one which was SM, I think. I've seen SN, I've seen SN plus, and now I've seen SP. So this one, as far as I know, meets the latest requirements for the American Petroleum Institute standards for SP. Okay, so it's a reasonably good quality oil. I've never had any issues with it, and it's very widely available. Now, if you need to fill your oil up It's very simple. Grab yourself first of all, work out how much you need to put in. And grab yourself a funnel so you're not spilling it everywhere. And this is your oil cap here, so just open it up. Okay, oil in, easy. Okay, oil in there using your funnel. Make sure you haven't made any spills, and then tighten it back up. And always, if you're filling oil, give it a check to make sure that you haven't overfilled it. Okay, so that's how to check your oil. Very simple, very easy, and yeah, all the best with your motoring. See you on the next one.